And we're live, and welcome to the WAN Show. No, this isn't the WAN Show, but hello everybody. Adam Steele here. As you can hear from my grumbly voice, we are rather unwell in our house right now. My lovely wife has COVID. She's fine. I tested negative, but I've got something else going on. Maybe it's a cold, maybe it's a flu, who knows? Just because COVID is a thing doesn't mean that nothing else is out there. So, I'm at home. I'm wearing my suit jacket because it's keeping me warm. And I'm going to take today, my brain is a little foggy, but I'm going to completely wipe my editing PC. And I thought, morning Bill, I thought that I would take this opportunity to just hang out with you guys. So it's going to be a very chill stream today, live stream. If you're watching this on catch up, do feel free to skip around because it's going to take a while. But the idea is my main computer is starting to have problems. They're not hardware problems. It's like the ship of Theseus. Over the last year or so, I've replaced the CPU, the motherboard, the graphics card. There was a capture card in there, now there isn't. There's been loads of software that's been put on there and updated and removed. It's a bit of a mess. So I figured it would be easier to just completely wipe and start again. And so that's what I'm going to do. I've rigged together my Mac as the streaming computer. So I'm using that ART voice channel that I usually use for the mixed streams, going into an Audient ID4 with the analog out, so you guys can hear that. And I've got a capture card capturing one of the three screens on the big machine. So I'm going to have to faff around with that a little bit. But before I completely nuke this machine, there are a few things that I wanted to do. Firstly, obviously I have to make and install USB for Windows 11, which I already did. I'm just pulling it up on another screen. Bear with me. I got where are you? I got the Windows 11 installer tool from Microsoft. Good day, the cat goes rawr. And I installed that on a USB stick, so that's now ready to go. I have multiple hard drives in my editing machine. I've got a 4TB SSD that's got stuff that gets used a lot, a 1TB really fast drive that I use for video editing, a 24TB array of drives that I use for slower stuff that I still need to have on hand, and then I've got about 12 external hard drives dotted around that aren't plugged in right now. There's the USB stick with Windows 11 on it, and the C drive is the hard drive that I'm going to be wiping. And it's going to be a complete wipe. So I used a program called WinDirStat, if you've not heard of that. WinDirStat is a program that you can use to check out what's on your hard drive, how big stuff is. I mean, there's nearly 500 gigabytes in just my user folder here, which is where most of the offending size on the drive has come from. So I had to check it all out. There's a phone backup on there, which I don't need anymore because I'm on iCloud. There's loads of stuff there's a temp folder with 100 gigabytes in. There's Dogecoin, that's definitely not needed. I was just playing around with that because we found an old wallet and hoped that it might have some Dogecoin in, but it doesn't. There's loads of stuff. That's 500 gig, and then there's Adobe stuff. There's just crap everywhere that is massively taking up a load of space that it doesn't need to. So it's going to go. The one thing that I've not done that I need to do now. Hello, Micah. Everybody, welcome in. Come in. Have a seat. Like I said, this is very much a chill stream today. This is going to be... Where's Reaper? This is going to be very relaxed. Let's pull up Reaper onto this screen. There is a small update for Reaper that I haven't done, but that doesn't matter because we're going to wipe everything. But what I'm going to do is I've made several tweaks and changes to Reaper that a lot of people don't do. Like I've got OSC and web browser and everything set up. Just little personalizations. So what I'm going to do is somewhere in here I can export the entire settings for this. Let me find export configuration. There we go. Make sure everything is ticked so that JSFX ticked. I think, yeah, extensions might be ticked, rescripts, everything is ticked. So I'll save this on the D drive in my Dropbox. I'm going to just do that on the other screen, put it in there and call it 2022. And that is now going through, zipping up everything. There we go. And just saving everything, including, I think the extensions are included, but if not, I can install them easy enough because I've only got 2 extensions on. I've got SWS and Repack. I don't go crazy with all the customization that some people do. And so that is it. I'm going to shut this down. I think shutting it down is all I need to do. You're going to see a black screen for a minute, but I'm going to dive under the desk and unplug the 3 screens so that all we're seeing is the extra capture card, because I'm using an Elgato Cam Link so we can see the screen here. But yeah, first thing to install is obviously Windows. Let's get that turned on. Come on, there we go. And I think I can hold down, I'll just keep bashing delete until we see something. There's Republic of Gamers. Bash, bash, bash the delete key. There we go. Okay, so I'm now staring at this on a screen inside a screen. Boot. There we go. Boot configuration. Boot override UEFI SanDisk. There we go. So that boot override should now bring up the installer, hopefully. Morning, Nick. Yeah, I'm feeling marginally better. Throat's still sore. But we're doing okay. I cannot read that. UK. Yep, that's fine. Because I'm actually reading this not off one of the monitors, but off the little screen window in OBS on the Mac. The idea being that once I've got Windows 11 installed... Oh, that's the other thing I need to do. Activate Windows. So if this is the first time... Right. Oh, that's the other thing. I need to unplug, I think, the LAN cable from it for now. Because otherwise it'll try and force me to do some stuff. So I'll say I don't have a product key, because I shouldn't need a product key. Home version. I think I've got a Pro license. I'm going to go with Pro. If it bugs me about licenses, I'll buy one from like scdkey.com or something like that. Yeah, accept the terms of the license. Custom. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I need to have the right drive. Now, this is why I named them all, because Fasto is the one that I absolutely don't want to wipe, so drive 4 must be the one. Because that's a 1 terabyte one. Yeah, that is exactly it. So I need to delete that partition. In fact, just delete every partition on drive 4. And that should, no, 1 more partition. These are all little things that Windows puts on there. So drive 4 unallocated space, that one. And just hit next and it'll do the rest for me. Which is great. Because that's an NVMe drive in there that is super duper fast. I think it's a Sabrent Rocket. But yeah, that's not going to take long now. Can Voodoo says, I have no regrets on going Windows 11 with Cubase 12. Cool. I did try Windows 11 on this machine once already, and I ran into some issues. The main issue was that Premiere would not open, but it was an in place upgrade, where it had just come up with like, ding, this is ready, and I went, okay, let's try it, and then it didn't work, so I rolled it back. Hooray for rollback. Okay. So yeah, I just need to get through to the point now where it talks about users and makes me have a user. I'm going to say, I don't want to use stupid Windows Microsoft login. Ugh. See if it'll let me do that. And then I think the first thing then to do will be install the Nvidia graphics drivers from their website. Because then I can duplicate a screen onto one of the three in front of me, so I can see this on a much bigger screen and you can still see it too. Hi, Scott. Yes, a sick day indeed. So I am taking the opportunity of this sick day to flatten the computer, because I like doing stuff like this when I'm sick. Makes me interested. Just a heads up as well, I may at any point have to just mute the microphone if I get a phone call from people, because I'm currently applying for a mortgage, which is not something you want to do when you're sick. But yeah, we got accepted for the mortgage for this house last night. But that now means that everything is happening. We've got surveyors, we've got all the other stuff going on, solicitors, all that. Ugh, boy. So, yes. And of course, they want to get going as soon as possible. Funny story, this morning I was on the John, so to speak, in the men's room, and I got a phone call from the surveyors saying, when can we come and look at your house? And I'm like, give me a minute. So, yeah, that was fun. For varying levels of fun. Yes. Yes, nice calm actions that don't need a lot of energy but still make you feel productive. Yes, very much so. Scott says, yeah, every 6 months I loved wiping all the drives and starting from scratch. I'll miss doing that with the M1. You can still do it with an M1. It may not get you quite as far, but like, I've already had 2 OS upgrades on... Come on, words. I've already had 2 OS upgrades on this M2 MacBook right here. It went from 12.5 to 0.1 and then 12.6. So eventually it's going to be a very similar thing where it gets clogged up and needs flattening. Maybe not every 6 months. But yeah, the other reason I decided to just go for it and nuke this is all my important data is on other drives. I have backups of everything. I have the working MacBook that I'm using right now. Oh, right. I'm using the same mouse for the MacBook and for everything else, so I'm going to move me over there. The Logitech MX Master is awesome because it means I can use one mouse for 3 devices. Wondering if I could do a short video on connecting Andrew Master's new drum system to Reaper. I have never heard of that. And it sounds like the kind of thing that's so super niche that I definitely won't be doing it. Sorry. Still got the kind of guidelines on there. You will need an internet connection to continue setting up your device. I flipping well do not. Ugh. Right, so you're being forced these days to do that. Great. I'm up early. Well, on UK time, it's 11:15. I've been up since 8 because I took my daughter to school. So, yeah. Something that I learned a few years ago now is the difference between being a musician and being a musician with a family. I had to change my ways. Right, network connected, fine. Next. Luckily for me, we just upgraded our internet to gigabit internet, so a lot of the downloads that should be done, they should be quick. Right, I'm going to name this device. I'm going to name this device Fred, because I like doing stuff like that. That's really stupid. Just a moment. Also, yes, the keyboard for that PC is behind the Mac, so when I move the screen, the webcam goes boing. Didn't have enough ports available and 2 cam links to do the thing. Yeah. I'm not too worried about, the option to say no, all that kind of stuff. I do have a Microsoft account. I've got an Xbox, so it's not the best, but it's not the worst. I can live with it. I was just hoping to not do that. Why is it saying not connected? No, I was going to say that's simply not true. Well, it may have found a critical OS update there. So, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, most of today is going to be me installing stuff set up for personal use. My organization will not have full control over this device. Great, now they make you do that. Okay. I'll just grab the keyboard. I mean, this is an email that you will all have seen before, so this is not giving away personal information. This is one of the emails I use for if any of you want to get in contact with me for mixing purposes or anything like that. Just check that's that's doing that thing. That's good. Now to check through about 19 different passwords. There we go. On the plus side, it should probably now pull the Hot Pole Studios logo up as the background. And there's my face. No restoring from anything. Absolutely not. Does it show? Right, it doesn't show it on screen, so that's good. No location. No find my device. Required only. No. 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 It's a bit of a theme here. Absolutely not. I didn't install Windows for a sales brochure, thanks. Now they're getting things ready for me. And I did a little bit of reading before I did this. The Windows 10 debloater script also works on Windows 11. So that's what we're going to do as soon as this comes up and we get the Nvidia graphics drivers installed. because that will make life that little bit easier. Oh, the sun's beating down on the window just as I do this. Feel free to put some nice background chill out music on underneath the stream. If I do that, then I get copyright flagged, but if you do it, that's personal choice and you're using your own like Spotify account or whatever it is that you use. So yeah, by all means, do that. I mean, this might take a few minutes. It's one of the most powerful CPUs that you can currently buy that's in there. You would think it would go faster. There we go. Would I like to get Armory Crate? Actually, yes. How did that get built into Windows? I don't know. That's weird. Oh, it'll be through the hardware installing different devices. Use your own music, epic tip, yeah. I mean, usually I would play background music, but like I said, because of the copyright stuff, this stream isn't about that music specifically. So all that would be doing is opening me up to things like copyright strikes and flags and stuff. It's already detected my Logitech. Oh, tea and crumpets. Oh, that's not fair. I've heard Windows 12 is coming in 2 years. Well, at this point, it really is just a number. Downloading at, 158 megabytes a second? That seems a little rich. Oh, no, yeah, that must be megabits, not megabytes, because 200 megabytes a second is faster than a gigabit download connection can go. That would be ridiculous. That's a good tip for people. As a general rule, whatever your download speed for your internet is in megabits, divide it by 10, and you get roughly the amount of megabytes that you can download per second. Roughly. So I've got 1,000 megabit connection, and once overhead is taken care of, because some people will say, oh, but 8-bit, blah, blah. No. The way that it actually kind of pans out is that because of overhead and encoding and stuff, roughly I get 100 megabytes a second to download at maximum, which is rare because most servers won't serve that fast. But that's what I get. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm using the ART voice channel straight into an Audient ID4 interface today. Would I recommend a 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro? I mean, no. I'd recommend getting the M2 MacBook Air or waiting for the M2 MacBook Pro to come out because the difference is astonishing. And yeah, you don't get much more for the lot more money you pay with the MacBook Pro currently. You get a fan, which you didn't need, and you get 3 inches more screen, which might be important to you, but it's not like an extra $500 to $800 worth of difference. I don't think. It's not a bad machine, if that's what you think I'm suggesting. They are great, but value has to be taken into consideration. So, while this is all going on, I am going to do the horrible thing. Oh, go away. No, I don't want any of this. Don't allow. I think I'm clicking a button behind here. Microsoft, I'm going to use Edge once to do this, and then never again. Nvidia.com. So, drivers. See, it is still installing stuff in the background, but I can barely see that. Let's go GeForce 30 series, not a notebook. 3070 is what I'm running, which is a very capable card. I don't want the game ready driver, I want the studio driver. And there it is. Download. Two minutes to download that file. Nah, that's slow, but it's probably doing 10 other things in the background, but I can't really see it very well because I'm still staring at this little screen, which is why I look like I'm staring. Have I found any WF you couldn't do on the M2? WF, what's WF mean? Come on, buddy. Download quicker. We have the internet. We can rebuild him. Make him stronger. It's probably some other kind of update or hardware, software, something downloading in the background, which is slowing it to a crawl because it is literally redoing everything from scratch right now. Workflow. Oh, have I found any workflow I couldn't do on the M2? Nope. Everything works. Pretty much all the audio guys have converted their plugins to M1 compatible now. Because I use Reaper, any that aren't M1 compatible just get bridged in as Rosetta just for that plugin and not the whole thing anyway. So, yeah, I've had no issues. Premiere works perfectly well. It's a little slow to export, but it plays back quick enough, especially with Blackmagic Raw, which is the surprising thing. Armory Crate still installing. But what I really need is that to get going. Hello, Pavage. Hello, everybody. Make yourself comfortable. Like I say, once I've got this done, I can take this jacket off now. Then I can actually plug my screens back in. I can see what's going on. Mate says, am I using one of Liam's old 3090 Ti crypto cards? I don't think he ever had any 3090s, but no, I got a 3070 and I sold the Quadro that I had been using for almost as much as I paid for the 3070. Because Quadro cards are great. That Quadro never crashed on me, but it just was not powerful enough. It was the thing holding my machine back, which is a real shame. Absolutely don't want the GeForce experience. Would rather chew off my own toenails, thanks. Not that I'm going to do that. The other thing that might help today go a little faster is that all the big files that I use, so all the drum libraries, instrument libraries, my Dropbox, all that kind of stuff, is on separate drives on this machine already. So if I can link them instead of having to re-download the whole thing, today shouldn't be a super long thing, which is nice. But for sure, Dropbox is going to have kittens for a little while it tries to work out nearly 2 terabytes of files and match them all up. But such is life. I'm taking this opportunity to install the new OBS 28, which is smoother and better and faster, which is always a good thing. Oh, there we go. Flashes. Right, that's installed. Amazing. So, I'm going to put this keyboard down, have a little root under the desk, and plug in all the screens. There we go. I see many screens. Right, so I need to open display settings. And identify which one's which. So, right. Identify, so I want 2 and 4 to be the same. Extend desktop to this, duplicate on 2 and 4. And then the order goes the other way around. And that just goes like so. Apply and kaplach. There we go. Right, so we've now got a 1080 capture that you can see. Adjust resolution, yep. 1080 and 1440. There we go. So anything I put on this screen here now, I can see, you can see. Morning, Joel. Morning, everyone. Come in, make yourselves at home. Armory crate. Now let's see, because Armory crate's kind of cool, actually. I started using it recently, and it can do things like, it does silly little things like it controls the lights in my machine, but it also can make sure that drivers are updated and make sure that speeds are all correct and all that kind of stuff. There we go. So yeah, sync devices. Yeah, that's nice. Don't need to link apps to it. Drivers. Let's look at the Windows driver stuff. So yeah, Intel chipset driver. There you go. This is the kind of stuff that will make life that much easier. And then I can make sure that the Windows Update stuff is done. If not, what? World of Wearable Art Awards. No, update. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong keyboard. That's something that I'll do more than once, I'm sure. Windows Update. No updates available. That's probably a lie. Yeah, there you go. So malicious software tools. Downloading and installing. Yeah, Major saying about like upgrading to a 7950X system. I'm not going to do that. I'm on a 5950X system, and the difference between them for what I do is not enough to justify the entire mass change that you have to do. So that's a no. But yeah, while this is downloading drivers and that's installing drivers, I'm going to nip to the men's room. I'll be right back, and then we'll crack on with the Windows debloat. Then a thing called Ninite, which will install a lot of programs that I need straight away. This is taking its sweet time installing an audio driver. Where's Task Manager? Task Manager, there you are. Oh, it's so much prettier in Windows 11. All these drives having a big panic. Oh, that's a point. Let's just make sure it's detected yeah, it's detected speed chunk as an array. So all my drives are here, which is great. That takes some worry away. Can anyone remember Cool Edit Pro? Yeah, Cool Edit Pro became Adobe Audition. So, yeah, technically the same, technically not the same. But yeah, Cool Edit Pro was kind of okay and then became Adobe Audition and got integrated into that whole mess. Ooh. Right, so that's pending a restart. That's a new thing. So if I drag something up to the top, it gives me options of putting things in different arrangements. I like that. But yeah. Come on, Realtek Audio Driver. You shouldn't be taking this long. Yeah, before I played with Cool Edit Pro or anything like that, I was playing with EJ. If anyone remembers EJ. You could get it for PC or PlayStation. It was basically a load of samples that were ready-made and locked to a grid, but you could put them on the grid wherever you wanted, and it would play them all back. So essentially, you made your own songs. And me and my best friend at the time, we thought we were amazing because we were making exactly the same songs as everybody else. Details. Oh, wow. That's some serious details right there. App history. App history. Okay, so I get to know CPU time, RAM usage. Cool. That Realtek audio driver is really taking its sweet time. I really don't need it. I might just cancel that off. Cancel installation. Because we got things to do. Come on, buddy. The installation that needs to be stopped is inside of you, so you get ended. Goodbye. Restart now. Absolutely no second chances. Let's go. Yeah, talking about we secured the mortgage yesterday. For anyone who's not in the UK, our economy is absolutely a disaster zone right now. We got a new prime minister and a new chancellor who sorts all the money out, and they have absolutely done the worst possible things that they could have done by the sound of it. And so the entire economy is panicking. Nobody can get mortgages, all that kind of stuff. Right in the middle of when we're kind of forced to do this. So, yeah, fun times. But yeah, the original offer that we got, they dragged their feet for like 2 weeks, and then that got not declined, but they withdrew the offer, which is good for us because it means that we didn't get kind of a black mark on our name or anything, but they just didn't want to do it. And so our brokers sorted themselves out yesterday, and within about 6 hours had gone from, sorry, there's nothing we can do, to, oh, we've secured you a mortgage. Sign here. So, yeah, everything's going, but oh my word, it couldn't have been more of a last-second save. Why is this taking forever to restart? What's going on? I wonder if it's still installing stuff in the background. There it is, yeah. Because it's a fresh install, it's trying to do a million different things all at the same time. Which I sympathise with. The ROG screen has now come up on the other screen over there, which you can't see. There we go. And pin makes life a little easier. That's good. USB device not recognized. We've not installed all the hardware yet. But that's not an issue yet. We're going to search Windows 11 debloater, because from what I was seeing, where was it? There was a particular, that was the link that I saw, and it was literally just run PowerShell as administrator. It doesn't have to be blue anymore, yay. And copy that, paste it in there, and wait for magic to happen. There we go. Remove all bloat. Watch it go. It's getting rid of the Xbox callback, Microsoft Office stuff. All the stuff that we definitely don't need is being removed. This is lovely. Do I also use 1212? Oh, not sure. Not sure the joke there. Arctic have sent you a new copper plate, gasket, liquid and thermal paste. Oh dear. Yes, talking of contact libraries. Finished all tasks enabled. Right, great. Disable Cortana. Disable Edge. Enable dark theme. Yes, please. Uninstall OneDrive. There we go. Still uninstalling OneDrive. That is absolutely fine with me. Two of my screens have gone white. OneDrive has been uninstalled. Happy days. Disable telemetry. Amazing. Right. And I am going to install .NET 3.5 because some of the older programs that I use do use it. So let's let that go. And so the debloater script, there are still going to be a few things in Windows 11 that it hasn't caught, but this is going to catch probably 90% of the stuff that not necessarily is going to slow down the machine, but just get in the way. It's more about annoyances at this point for me, because the computer is so horrendously powerful that, you know, a little bit of software in the background isn't a deal breaker, but it's still just not ideal, you know. So device manager, not device manager. I need to install stuff for. I don't know what DFU is, but the ESI M4U needs its drivers installed, as does. I only use 1212 on sound checks. No, I'm an advanced sound checker. I also go check, 22, check, 22. It would seem like this isn't installing. Oh, Windows Modules Installer is going, which means that something is happening in the background. Something's being installed. Let's have a look at system. Ooh. Let's have a look at product key and activation. Yes, we're active. Lovely. So that didn't need sorting out. That's always good. Windows Update. Check again. Oh, look, there's more. Now, let's have a look. Right, .NET has been successfully installed, which means debloater is done. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful help. That's now stuff that's updating, installing, super quick, because that's what we want. Yes, two, check, two, bam, bam, bam. Right. That is done. So now we're on to ninite.com. If anyone's not used Ninite, get on it, because this thing's brilliant. I can now install loads of the software that I need straight away. So Chrome, yes, 7-zip, Zoom, Discord, Skype, Steam, VLC. Don't think I use any of the rest of this. Spotify, Handbrake. Don't want to put any of the Java and .NET runtimes on if I don't need them. WinSCP I use. Putty I use. Don't want any of them. Do want OpenOffice because sometimes I use that. Foxit Reader's decent. Dropbox. Don't actually want any of the antivirus stuff because the Windows Defender that's inbuilt is genuinely better than most things. Fight me. Windows Start, you saw me using that. I want that. And I think that's it. I go get your Ninite. And I just open that up and watch. And it will install and download all of those things that I ticked straight away. No dialogue boxes, no nothing. Literally just bang, 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 bang. Everything out of that list that I wanted. That's probably saved me an hour. So every new machine gets this. And in the background, once Chrome's installed, there's Chrome. Sign in. I'm going to move that over here. And just go through the inevitable million passwords until I get the right one. Where's my... Oh, there's my phone right in front of me. What an idiot. Confirm whether it's me trying to sign in. Two-factor is always good. Yes, it's me. Turn on sync. Yes, please. And that's now going to sync all of my stuff to Chrome, including some of the plugins that I use for it. So I don't use a lot, but pole position, those are still bookmarks from when we used to do the pole position podcast, which is now a while ago. But yeah, I use TubeBuddy, I use Tamper Monkey sometimes. Goful Page is a screen capture thing, but it's all just bang now installed and done. Whilst installing all this stuff. So yeah, happy days. Next one, let's get Dropbox open because that's a big one. Is it even installed yet? No, it's not installed yet. So let's get Steam done. Ooh, now the CPU's cooking. Can't get used to the volume bar at the bottom. Meh. I'll adjust. I mean, I don't use that much because I use external devices. I tend to use, I've got my ID44 where the output is on full blast, and that's going to a balanced headphone amp that's on my desktop, which I can then just use the pot on there as my volume. So I've got maximum quality, but not necessarily maximum deafness. .NET 6 required for Handbrake. Okay. I don't necessarily need Handbrake right this very minute, but sometimes you just do need something like Handbrake. I had an issue earlier this week with a project that I filmed for Produce Like a Pro, where we were doing a capture of a screen onto this laptop where it was using OBS. And one of the capture files, there was some sort of corruption where it just didn't like the fact that the audio and the video should sync with multiple tracks. And so I ran it through Handbrake and it was fixed. It was fine. Handbrake is a really good fixing tool and also really good at making files small. So if your internet upload speed is terrible, you can make like a really high quality video in Premiere that might be like 10 gigabytes or something, run it through Handbrake and it'll probably be 1 gigabyte or less and still look pretty much the same to your eyes. Handbrake's really handy like that. And if that takes less time doing that and uploading the file than it would have to just upload the big file, then you've won. Right, there's Dropbox. So I'm just going to sign into that. Let's see if the I'll just do sign in with Google. Continue signing in with Google with that email address. There we go. Try not to give too many infos away to everybody. Come on. Right, that's the password for that. I do want it to be available offline. It says not enough hard drive space. Choose online only. But I know that I have enough hard drive space on a different drive. Advanced settings. D Dropbox. D. Okay, update, yep, update, done. Right, there we go. Dropbox is now going to have a kitten and go, oh my god. No, I don't want to back up to Dropbox. That is not what Dropbox is for. That is never what it was for. Thanks. So let's go now back into the preferences. And yeah, so don't need it to be online only. Cheers. Right, so that's now going to take forever to have an absolute nightmare, because the way Dropbox works is there's some sort of database system is how it keeps track of everything. So it's now going to go through 91,562 files and have an absolute bar. So default apps. Chrome. No. There we go. Default browser. Yes, please. Absolutely don't want you using Edge for pretty much anything. Thanks. Right, there we go. Now we're talking. So Dropbox is going to have a little panic in the background. Let's have a look at Task Manager while it's doing that. So yeah, System and Dropbox are having hard drive reading screaming fits, which is fine by me. It has to literally comb through every file in the Dropbox to make sure that the values of what the file is match what they have on their servers. So it actually has to comb through every file through all the data, which is an absolute nightmare. So it does that. But it's doing it at 500 megabytes a second rather than the 100 megabytes a second it could download at, which would absolutely saturate my internet. So, you know, it's kind of better doing it this way than it is doing it the other way. So next one is Adobe Creative Cloud. So let's get that downloaded. Sign in. Do that on this with that password, because I signed into my Chrome. You know, a few things are saved in there. So No. Update your apps. Don't need any of that. Just download Creative Cloud, please. There we go. Ooh, that's now going to go through here where I literally just signed in. And it's going to come up there. Fine, install that because I don't care because it is real. That's fine. And whilst that's going, let's get the latest version of Reaper because this is where the real fun is going to begin. Windows 64-bit. The real fun is going to begin when we start downloading all the plugins that we like to use. I agree. Next. Yes. Yes. Fine. Whatever. On you go, Sonny. Reaper installed. Run now? Question mark. Yes. That would be lovely. Thanks. Select audio device. And I need to get my license key. Make it look easy. That's only because I've done this many, many times. So that's installing. That's been installed. I'm gonna pull up an old email address, which is a personal email address. So I'm not going to do that on screen. Because if I remember rightly, that's where my commercial license went for Reaper. Because that's the one that I was using years and years and years ago when I first got my first Reaper 3 license. Stay signed in, whatever. Live Nation Sleep Token, blah, blah, blah. I absolutely couldn't care less about any of these emails, so that's great. Reaper license purchase. And that's my non-commercial license. Because I do have a non-commercial license and a commercial license because I upgraded halfway through. Let's have a look. So that was in 2015. So I wonder if I used a different email address. Could have been that one. This is where I'm throwing all my other email addresses up on a different screen because I don't really want to show you every email address that I have, just in case. Because, that's asking for security nightmares. Let's have a look. Oh, hello. Is that what I need? Yes. Okay. So there's just a load of text that you have to copy. And if I go to purchasing information, yes, it appears your clipboard contains a Reaper license key. Import, yes. Hot Pole Studios commercial license. Why does it say still evaluating? Maybe I've just got to close it now and open it again. Yes, there we go. Registered to Hot Pole Studios Limited commercial license. Brilliant. So Adobe Creative Cloud has opened up there, so I can go, what do I use? Photoshop, Acrobat, Premiere, After Effects, and Media Encoder. And out of all this, that is all I use. Don't like Audition. Don't use Dreamweaver. Don't really use Bridge. Don't use Lightroom because I use Photoshop. Don't use Premiere Rush because I use the real one. And so that's it. Now I just wait for those. I don't want you. There we go. Oh. So that's now going to install all of them. Lovely. So the next thing I need to do is go to ESI, which is I've got like a USB hub that's got MIDI ports on. So that's what I want to get the driver for before I do the ID44 driver. So there we go. Universal MIDI port driver M4UEX is the one that I want. Okay, still the same file. Good. What? Oh, there it is. So that's next. Do I save my Reaper customizations? Yes. Danny, if you missed the very start of the stream, that was the one thing that I did before nuking this machine was I did that. Come on, brain, words. Saved my Reaper configuration. So I'm just getting the hardware drivers installed now. And once I've done that to make sure that the ID44 and the hub that's connected to are all working, then I'm fairly confident that I can import the... No, I will not restart the computer now because I'm in the middle of all sorts of stuff. Why do they want me to restart so often? Audient.com, product ID44, and now when we get to installing some of these plugins fairly soon. Morning, Mike. Yeah, what was it? Let's say that downloads. My download is probably absolutely hammering right now. Let's have a look. Device manager. Not device manager. What was that all about? Task manager. Network. Adobe 74 megabit? Looks like that's running kind of slow, but whatever. Downloads, drivers, Windows drivers. Let's get that cracking. Performance. Not sure why my internet is looking like it's absolutely kneecapped at 100 megabit. Because we do have 1,000 that we pay for, so that could be something that I need to look at. Could be a hardware thing. Because yeah, Intel gigabit network connection running at demonstrably exactly 100. That's incorrect. That is not right. Yeah, that's going to need to go 10 times faster than that. Now, where was device manager? Device port reset failed. I'm not entirely sure what we've... Oh, it could be the hub on the screen that I've got over here. I don't remember which display I'm on. I think it's that one. Windows 11 64-bit. That's the one. Chroma tune. That'll put a kind of a profile on here for the display. And that means that now, because it's only 100 megabit, it's going to take forever to install some of these from Adobe. So I might just cancel all this. No, cancel, cancel, cancel. No, cancel. I'll come back to these, it's fine. 8 degrees in Tennessee. I hope that's in Celsius. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Cool. Right, dismiss. Let's see. So that whatever that DFU was is no longer a problem. Let's actually shut the computer down. Just let it turn off. And then we'll turn it back on again and see. Because I don't think there's very much plugged into this. There's a USB stick no longer needed. And there might be some extra drivers that I need from ASUS's website for things like 10 gigabit USB on here. I might need that. I don't know if I do. The loading screen's coming up on the right hand screen again, which is why you're not seeing anything. Updates are underway. Please keep your pants on. Right. Ooh, pretty. Different angle mic. Because my main computer is the one we're reinstalling on, I didn't have enough capture cards to capture the screen and capture the proper camera. This is just the Mac webcam, just for this particular particular stream. Now there we go. There's Skype. There's Discord coming in. Let's not show the screen for a Audience Arc again because I've pretty much got all the stuff that I need on here. Okay, so I can log into Discord with a QR code, which is what I'm going to do, and then leave that off screen. No, Discord. There we go. Hey. Scan QR code. Yes, it's me. Log me in. Cool. And Steam, I'm going to log in over there. Let's just see which password works for Steam. I might need to grab the Steam. Oh yeah. Unpin from taskbar. Pin to taskbar. There we go. Definitely need to put passwords on a different screen. Because, you know, security. Let's just see if Steam's got a different... Yeah, Steam's got a new password. Because when I got the Steam Deck, they really wanted me to change it. So I did. I'm going to need Spoon Guard. Steam Guard. Oh. No, don't take me to a different thing. Come on, Steam Guard is... There we go. So let's get Steam on the go, and then Fred is available for streaming. Yeah, that's great and all, but where did he go? Because now I can... Oh, no, there's all my details. Amazing, thanks for that. So... library... Download Steam library folders. Suppose I can show this because this is just add a new. I think that's where they go anyway. There we go. How do I remove that one? So make that default and now remove. Nah, it's fine. Okay. So I've got all my games on there now. All the games that I had installed are now done. Don't tend to use other things. Where's Dropbox? Is that still having an absolute fit? Yeah, it's got 40,000 files to do, which compared to the 90,000 it had before is pretty good going. So let's just open Reaper and make sure that now detects. Select audio device ACO Audient with all the inputs and outputs. I like to use 48K where possible. There we go. That is now set. Let's look at the preferences and import configuration from Dropbox. Dropbox, common files, 2022.reaper.config. Yep, will require Reaper to restart. That is fine. Import. Skibbity-bop-bop-bop-a-dee-bidee-boop. Allow access for Reaper because I do stuff with it. There we go. So I just need to install the extensions now, which would be SWS extensions. Download that one and repack, which I need x86 or 64-bit Windows. So let's get them installed. Keep that up. And that one just needs to go in. So if I open Reaper one more time and go to options, show Reaper resource path, user plugins, and drop repack straight in there from my downloads. Downloads, there we go. Now when I close and open that, that should all be in there. So my settings are how I had them before. I've got SWS and repack done. Lovely. So if I Shift Z, Alt and Z, yep, all my key commands are there. So I don't need to save a project. We're getting somewhere now. And close that down. So let's have another look at our device manager, because it might be that I've got a cable that's not. Oh, whatever that was is now fine. Probably because I installed. Oh, hello. Yeah, I installed the drivers for things, so everything's now happy. Great. Don't need Steam Guard up on there. This is going a little bit faster than I thought, but let's have another check of. It was Task Manager I wanted because I wanted to check the speedtest.net because something isn't right here. Yeah, because that's saying 80, 90 megabit. That should be way higher. I'll get way higher than that on my phone. So let's look at Ethernet. So network connections. Link speed 100. Right, that's our problem right there. Let's have a look on ASUS website for the drivers for this motherboard and see if that changes it. X570 Tough Gaming, I think that's this one. Let's open the Armory crate again, because now we've got more stuff installed. Drivers. The AMD chipset driver and the gigabit never got installed. So I'm going to untick Realtek audio driver and get the others installed. That should change stuff. Might need a restart, but then once it's restarted, if I'm suddenly getting 1,000 instead of 100, that's a big difference. Let's just change this over so that that's nice and neatly in the corner there. There we go. And just big stretch. Oh. If this takes forever and is hanging for some reason, I mean that could also be part of why this is taking forever, because that poor Dropbox is still got 23,000 files to get through, and that's a potential issue. But that's a temporary issue, because that will be dealt with. Oh, CPU, he do things. GeForce RTX 3070 seems happy enough. That's doing the best part of nothing. CPU's doing stuff. Asus driver update client is hammering a couple of cores there, so something's going on. I'll put that down. Could really have done with going to the shop and getting some biscuits before this. For Americans, that means something like cookies. But the idea is once this and the CPU/chipset driver are installed, this can be restarted and should give me gigabit download, which is actually fast enough to do something. Because otherwise, we have a bot we can remove. Hide user from channel. There we go. Why do they even bother with that kind of thing? Right, so now it's downloading, installing the... restart now, and that might stop that port reset fail issue on the USB. Because that might be that 10 gig, like I was saying, that's now actually sorted. And if that's the case, then we're good. Just Alt-Tab over there, so you're going to get a black screen for a minute. But yeah, this is part of the troubleshooting of a brand new system, is that like the network was working, but it wasn't working fast as it should, which means that I was limited to 1/10 of my download speed, which means something that could take 4 minutes to download would take 40 minutes. That's a significant difference, especially when you're doing something live. And it's also a big difference for someone like me who works in video, where like if I could download a massive file off someone in 20 minutes, then I can work on it same day. If it takes 200 minutes, that's over 3 hours. That means it's probably not a same day job. That's untenable. You know, that's why I pay extra money for that kind of stuff. That should have been on Remember, but it's not. That's coming up with everybody's details, so let's not. I'll do Skype later. Now, if I go back to network connections, how are we doing now? Still on 100. I feel like that could be a cable issue at this point. Because that should absolutely be at 1000. Oh, come on, cable, behave for me. Apparently YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. That could just be because the bitrate's dropped, because I was out of frame, and so it didn't need that. But let's have another look. 1,000. Yeah, so the cable just... It was the cable, of all things. Now let's have a look in Device Manager and see if that... Okay, so I'm still getting a port reset failed issue on whatever that is. Did that? No, that didn't fix... Oh, that didn't fix that. If I disable that and re-enable that... There's only a couple of things plugged in by USB at the moment. Anyway, it shouldn't matter for the minute. We'll find... Yeah, you only lost me for a minute because I went under the desk. It's just YouTube giving me the warning thing. But, yeah, I'm still here. So... What now? Back to Creative Cloud, and because that's now going 10 times faster, that should be install, and Media Encoder is already installing. Acrobat. I don't like using Acrobat, but it does a thing. So now, yeah, that's already, 28, 34, 38. That is rocketing ahead. If we look at the receive now, yeah, it's dropped to 0 because it's now installed Premiere as fast as I've ever seen anything install ever. And now this will shoot up to crazy numbers. There we go, 700, 800 megabit. That's more like it. So, yeah, happy days. Which means that anything that needed downloading before is now not hanging on. Which means we can move on to some of the other stuff. So next I need to get the iLock software installed. iLock.com. Now, my favourite game now is plugins. What do we not have? Because I'll forget something. So I'll download the iLock License Manager, which is, because of the now crazy fast internet, this is now running way faster than it was. And programs are not actually competing with each other for bandwidth either. They can all go all at the same time. And they'll all be fine. So this is the Windows version of the iLock install. Welcome, yes, install, validating. There we go. Finish. And I don't actually need to log into that just yet, which is great. So all apps, got Premiere now. After Effects is nearly done. And I can just leave that ticking away in the background. Oh, progress is slower than usual. I mean, the CPU and that disk that Dropbox are using are absolutely steaming away still, so that's fine. Still another 7,000 files to deal with. But let's go to start downloading some bundles. Arturia. Let's download the Arturia stuff. And accept cookies. Right, that's now me, so I can go to my products. V collection 8 I've got. I don't think I need V collection 9. Right. Pretty sure that that's the same computer twice, so that doesn't need to be on there. And desktop for T46 blah blah blah. That was the name for this before I renamed it to Fred. So that's now ready for me. Support, is that where I download stuff? Arturia Software Center, that's what I need. Download. Because that's how we get the Arturia stuff in and on. And there's going to be a few of these over the next few minutes. Because there's stuff from Isotope, there's stuff from Slate, which I'm not going to be using as much as I used to, but that's a conversation for another day. I'm also checking every email that comes in case anything that comes in is from legal people because of house, you know. Where did you go? Installed it and then it was like, we're not going to run. Not going to actually do anything. Great, thanks guys. So this is where I need to go into my password manager and pull out details. And my keyboard's off to my left, which is really confusing. Off to my right even. That's my left and that's my right. Come on. Come on, dude. Right, licenses in progress. And then it'll be a case of, yep, thanks. Yes. Oh, back. Yep, VST folder is probably the most important thing for me. And that's got my email on it again, but I'm going to go activate for V Collection 8 and install, and same for the effects. And install. And that's now going to install all of them. Which is then going to, download everything ever. And you can see that's now going. Yeah, this is. Oh, hello. Something's still installing there, is it? Media encoder. Yep, that's all done. There's a little plugin I use called Drag Zoom Pro, which I'll put in Premiere later. Marshall says, which studio system is this that's getting done over? Is it a brand new PC? This is Studio B's computer. This is the kind of editing and mix machine that you see me work from home a lot from. Premiere wasn't working on here. It was crashing every 5 seconds and it was overdue for a reinstall. So I figured now's a good time to just absolutely hammer the poor thing. So now I need the Slate Audio, Slate Audio Center, and Slate Digital, because there's 2 of them just to make it more awkward. Mac. You've already seen that email today. Typical that they make you now log in just to download the installer. Get Creative Cloud for free in a few clicks, but I already pay for it and don't want any of this stuff, thanks. What comes up under utility here? So there's AI Suite, which I don't want because it's not amazing actually. Yeah, don't want any of that. Absolutely not. I do want CPU Z because sometimes I refer to it so I know exactly what motherboard I've got. All that kind of stuff. Do I favour a particular plugin right now, or does it depend on what music I'm working on? Yeah, it very much depends on what music I'm working on. There are a lot of brands that make very similar plugins as well, so it can come down to what you've bought or how it looks and is intuitive to you can make you favour one over another. There's no hard and fast rule really. But yeah, up until recently I did use the Slate stuff a lot, and now I don't. So I'm going to be looking for some alternatives to some of that stuff. That's going to be fun. Don't want to restart just because I installed CPU-Z. Oh, I thought I installed those. No matter. Don't actually need those because I'm never going to use the Realtek audio. And if it's happy with the gigabit stuff that it's got, I don't need any more. Do I use any plugins from Plugin Alliance? Yes, I do, and that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to install shortly. There we go. So that's now, Slate Digital Connect is now installing everything for me in the right places, which is a lot easier than it used to be, that's for sure. So, internet's now going crazy. Oh, installed addictive drums last year. It wouldn't let me do MIDI from the libraries. Unlucky. Looks like Dropbox's update is practically done. It's got 9 files to sync that it doesn't have, I guess. But that's absolutely fine. 9 files I'm sure it can deal with. Let's have a look at this Asus Chroma Tune. RGB DCI P3. Oh, that's really blue. That is really dark. Why is that so dark? T65. Weird. But yeah, it knows which one to adjust, so that's fine. Joel says, do you know I can delete all of the Plugin Alliance trials? If they're still showing in Reaper, then you've not deleted the DLL files from wherever Reaper is looking for them. Yeah, drinking game for Slate VMI will take a hit. Indeed it will. But we'll just have to find something else to replace that with, won't we? So yeah, Arturia is still installing, Slate's installing all this kind of stuff. Still got another 24 to install, which means it's waiting on something. That's fine. Let's now go to who's next? Native Instruments Access. Hopefully this won't be too bad, depending on where it was installing the libraries too, because I think I'll be able to just point it at the libraries I already have. So, Native Access 2. This was another thing that I had an issue with opening Native Access on this machine on Windows 10. I then had to go back and install the original Native Access 1, which worked, and then updated itself eventually. So that was kind of bizarre. But yeah, I don't know. This machine's such a monster that it can actually handle 3 installers going all at the same time, which saves me a lot of messing around. A lot of times that things shouldn't take as long as they do is because you've got a bottleneck somewhere, whether it be network or CPU or hard drive. And as it stands, hard drive doesn't really care. Memory's fine. CPU, because it's a 16 core, has loads of free stuff. Right, okay, so I need to put my native ID in. Let's get that on the other screen and open up passwords. So much finding passwords on here and just logging into everything. Okay. Right, native access. Right, somewhere in here is settings where download location. Content location. So I need to move that to be D complete. There we go. So there we go. So I've got all these because I just got complete 14, which was awesome. But yeah, let's install Absinthe. Apparently Contact 7 is now out, but that was a very last minute. They were still doing some tweaks to it. Like just as it was going out. Ooh, Contact Factory Library 2. I mean, Contact is the main one I use, let's be honest. Extinction level event, install, definitely use that. If there's anything else that I use, I'm sure I can sort it all out later. Instruments. Oh, this sorts things out much nicer. Don't ask me again. Don't know what that was that just came up. Camera upload. Reactor I want. Massive I want. Might install the older version of Contact if I need it. It's nice that they've included it. And battery. Yeah, Dropbox does that to me a lot and it is irritating, but of all the things to be irritated by, it's kind of not at the top of the list, you know. Right, the Slate one's done. That's good. I will need to install the other Slate one because I'm still going to be using Trigger even though I'm not using VSX anymore. It looks like the Arturia one's nearly done. Yeah, content location D complete. But yeah, the fact that this can, if for some reason this does have to download things again, which is irritating, but perfectly doable, then at least I know that. Oh, installing Jupyter 8, Matrix 12, and Comp 36 and delay. Oh, wow, okay. Apparently Arturia are going for it, trying to install all the things. So let's go to, that's done, Slate, Audio Center. Because that was the Digital Connect and was not what I needed. Install for Windows 3.0 Slate Audio Center. Let's get that open from StephenSlateAudio.com, not Slate Digital. How come I'm not using VSX anymore? Oh, that's a thing for another video. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that today. Right, now to remember or use the password manager for Slate Audio Center. That's the one. Right, so that's actually a different email entirely. Good thing I've got password manager. Sign in. Right, so trigger platinum install. Make sure it's going to the right plugin folder. Yep, activate iLock license. Don't actually need that because that's already activated. Oh yeah, so I can set the trigger library folder, which I already have on here somewhere. Trigger. There we go. And this is just overlapping a whole ton of installers at this point, which is ace. Right, Contact 7 is installing. That's decided it has to download all 2 gigabytes of that. Wonderful. I mean, this has probably got... Let's change this to... There we go. That's what I want to see. Half the processor is currently not doing much, but half of it's going crazy. As to be expected on a monster like this. I believe that Windows 11 has been programmed to be better at handling big processors and multi-core and all that kind of stuff than Windows 10 was, because that wasn't a thing when when Windows 10 was designed. Hide user on this channel. We've got another spam bot. Goodbye. There we go. Let's bring back my OBS window. Cool. That was fun. Right. So back to products and expansions. Install the David Bendeth expansion because I do use those. The snare room triggers I use quite a lot. It's a definite favourite trick of mine. But yeah, it seems to have decided that that's where it's got to download everything all over again. But that's fine, because that didn't take long, especially on this internet connections. Operation not permitted. Whatever, it's probably already installed. We're not moving to a new place, Danny. We're buying the place we're in now. Which is definitely an experience for sure. But yeah, I think that our landlord decided that they don't want the stress of going through, having their house price go like that. They just want to sell up and go do something else, which I completely understand. And so we've been doing this and it's taken forever because I do this. I run my own company, and rather than working for a big company where I've got regular paychecks that I can take to like a mortgage company and go, this is me, we had to get the accounts done for my company, which is fine, but just took some time. Why does it want to download 14 gigabytes of stuff when it could just check that the library's already in there? Ugh. Let's just open that up and see what it's doing. Oh, that's why it was coming up with stuff. So the Native Instruments installer is it's mounting DVDs and kind of doing it the old school way. That's kind of funny. But yeah, that's taking not too long to do that, which is fine, you know. This is one of the things that I paid for the crazy fast internet for. When do you think I'll start thinking about installing Mac OS 12? Last thing I need is for something to break. Don't want a Pro Tools update or something that kills off my workflow. Afraid I can't help you there. I've always been a person that kind of pushes for the forefront, and it's one of the reasons I don't use Pro Tools is that, like you say, things can stop working at any time, whereas with Reaper that's never been the case. Yeah, so I honestly don't know. It's not an experience that I've had. And yeah, all the software that I use, unless there's been some weird screw up somewhere, just tends to work on new OSs because it's not been compiled in such an arcane way that it's delicate and fickle to the whims of Apple or Microsoft or whoever, which I am very grateful for. Yeah, that's flying now. Is this one finished? This one's... I don't know what's going on over here. It's telling me it's installing stuff, but that's as far as it's got over there, which is fine. This one... Yeah, it seems to be kind of tripping over its own feet a little bit here, I think. The Arturia installer, but that'll be fine. Native access is going. And what else have we got queued? Oh yeah, so the Factory Library 2 I did not have downloaded, so that one is going to download over 11 minutes, which for 40 gigabytes, that's pretty good going. Especially when it's currently kind of co-downloading something else, and my wife's working downstairs because she's at home, she's recovering from COVID, but they don't want to have her in the office till next week, so she's now working from home for a couple of days, and yeah. So yeah, the only reason you use it is because the studio you do your drums in can't be bothered to take out of Logic, put it into Pro Tools, take it back. Insist that that studio installs Logic. If it's a studio that is open to other people, they should not be just one piece of software as a company. It really shouldn't. Why is the gain so low on this? Is cable half broken or something? It seems like it should be going higher than it is, but maybe it's just me being quiet because of my throat. I don't know. But yeah, excuse me. Yeah, when I go to big studios, I insist that they use Reaper and they've got no leg to stand on. I just install it and I go, because it takes 20 seconds and there's no licensing, no dongle involved, no crap. So yeah, I just carry on in what I'm experienced in, and they usually watch over my shoulder and go, "Oh, that's cool. I should probably be using that." So, you know. Contact Factory Library installed. Cool. Can we... Alright, it looks like you can change the queue in Native Access if you want. Paul says, as a full-time engineer, how do you cope with the band's artists that don't turn up? How do you still pay your bills? Firstly, take 50% deposit up front. Don't even put the booking in your calendar until you've taken money off them, and tell them that they don't have the booking till they've given you money. And that way, if you've booked somebody in for 3 days, they don't turn up, but they've given you half the money. That's a non-refundable deposit, by the way. Then you've got 3 days to do something else that will earn you money whilst you still have half of that money. Danny says, had an issue with Reaper after the last update. When bypassing effects, it went silent until hitting stop and play. I've not had that. I've not actually updated since 6.66 or 6.7. So I'm updating to 6.68 today. So if I have that same issue, I'll let you know. But that sounds like the kind of thing that if that's an issue for everybody, they'll fix that pretty quick, because that'll be something that everybody will shout at them for, and they'll fix it within the week. That's another thing that's great about the Reaper development team, is if something goes wrong, they're not like 9 to 5 kind of people that work for a big company, that it's their thing. So when people send them a message going, yo, this is broken, they go, oh no, fix it, fix it, fix it. It's not unheard of with the Reaper development team. If they put a new feature in and it breaks something, it's not unheard of that they'll then roll that back in the next update until they find a fix. They would much sooner make sure that what they're doing isn't breaking people's stuff than have the cool new features. But then when they know that it's not breaking anybody, then they put the cool stuff in. So that's downloading. That's downloading. What else do I need? So this is where we start looking at some of the others. Waves. I need the Waves installer. Let's get Waves. Waves.com, Waves Central. So yeah, let's get that. I'm not using a huge amount of Waves plugins right now. Interesting that Waves Central is on v13 when some of the plugins, the Waves shell says v14 these days. But let's get that installed while I'm doing this. Waves Central, yes. There are a couple of plugins from Waves that I'm really liking using now. I've just bought Torque, the plugin TORQUE, because it's a really cool little thing that can change the pitch of drums without sounding really processed. And I like the way it works. There's always the classic Waves de-esser as well, which is simple, and yeah. Again, I have sometimes got gripes with the people at Waves because they do things in a very strange kind of way. Fixing permission and ownership. This isn't a Mac. What going on? Right. So that's opened in a browser, which is nice, because that opened up on the other screen. Okay. Syncing. Yeah, don't want to give you any more money, thanks. So activated. Waves Harmony. Horizon 12. Let's install all them on here if it'll let me. What are you preparing? Of course, once I've done all these, there's then the joy of opening Reaper for the first time while it does the first scan of all the plugins and hoping desperately that nothing's broken, or that nothing's been installed to a folder that isn't currently in the Reaper config, or all that kind of good stuff. Always a joy. Right, well that's extracting, which means that the disk is now absolutely battered. That poor disk. It's one of the Samsung QVOs as well. It's a quad layer SSD, which is not the fastest and not the highest read-write cycles either. But yeah, everything that's on that drive, it has backups everywhere as well. So yeah, it's not as if there's a huge, massive problem anywhere. iLock Activations Manager. I should probably plug my iLock in at this point. Where did I put that? Oh boy. I know it was here somewhere. Don't tell me that Ivy's run off with it. It's on a big stinking lanyard. I can't... Oh, there it is. Can't miss it. My iLock. What do I use for backup software? I don't. I do everything manually. I'm just quite kind of picky and OCD about it. I just copy everything to hard drives. I use Dropbox as a temporary storage for things as kind of a live backup. But then when a project is finished, they all go on separate hard drives externally times two. Never really liked backup software. In the studio, I do actually have two computers in the same room, so I use Windows' own backup block level to back up the studio PC to two redundant mirrored hard drives on the streaming computer. But that's just so that if that computer goes down for some reason, for any reason, I can have a block level restore within a couple of hours. That's just because that's the place where if I'm being paid by a client and things go boom, I need to be back up and running fast. Whereas everywhere else, I don't need that really, so I do it the way that I like. Right, the Slate one is done. Wave stuff is downloading. That's nearly done with its 40 gigabytes of downloads. Gee whiz, that is so fast. Look at that poor internet going 600 megabits, 700 megabits. Just going, blah, help me. And yeah, it's doing that weird thing where it makes a virtual DVD drive and installs from the virtual DVD, which is a very Native Instruments way of doing things. Hello, Chris. CDO alphabetical order, yeah. Paul says, do you use any free software VSTs apart from stock like ReEQ? Not really, no. I've nothing against free software. I'm not a snob. I do use some of the Toucan Studios stuff sometimes. But the guys who make the paid software, it's in their best interest to make it sound as good as possible and work as efficiently as possible and do the things that the stock stuff can't do. So it kind of has ended up that the sounds that I like tend to come from paid software. And yeah, if anything free comes up that sounds great, I'll use it. But generally speaking, that's kind of not how it goes. Now, why are you downloading ELE? We've been through this. We don't need you to do this. But yeah, interestingly, yeah, it's made a virtual DVD that is 36 gigabytes and is installing off DVD because that's the way that Native Instruments work, which is weird, but is fine, I guess. So yeah, let's have a look in that complete folder. Yeah, so the Contact Factory library was already there. ELE is already there. It's fine. I mean, although that has made me look at what I have used, so I'm going to go back to my library and install a few things. So, was I using raucous? I don't know if I did actually use raucous in the end. It was just a nice thing. Damage, I definitely use. What have I got under One Kit Wonder, I think. Wait, OP, Key Element OP. Must be somewhere else that I have to get the contact. One Kit Wonder, there we go. So I've got these two which I like. Don't use them all the time, but they are there. The Grandeur and the Maverick. Two pianos that I really like. And the Gentleman I didn't really like. Does anyone use Discovery Pro? I can't say I do. But yeah, there we go. So that's now queuing and then downloading stuff that we already had, and then as long as it cleans up after itself after the install, that is all fine. So it looks like everything's now installed from Arturia. That's great. My iLock is plugged in, so that's good. That's all going. Slate stuff is all done. Wave stuff is all done. The Toucan stuff installed itself because of the way that Reaper backs everything up. Now I need to look for Soothe and things like that. What I'm going to do at this point actually is I'm just going to open Reaper and see if any of this has any major problems, because this now has to tick through every single one of these. Why would Analog Lab not be responding? Come on. Right, it was just taking a long time because it's a big plugin. Okay, fine. This is the first install after all. But that is something nice and relatively new that they've added into Reaper, as if it is hanging on a plugin, it comes up with a little window saying, hey, this plugin is hanging, it's not Reaper. Do you want to just wait for it, or do you want to kill it? Which is a really nice option. Like that, Contact 7 plugin is not responding. It responded, just taking a while because it's new. Actually, who's the company that makes the Verb Suite Classic stuff? Liquid Sonics. So we've got Seventh Heaven, Lustrous Plates. Reverberate, right. The Seventh Heaven Professional. This is the same company that makes the plugins for the Slate stuff. So I'm considering just getting these, because the Seventh Heaven is the Bricasti stuff that I use a lot, but also with like full 3D support, which I'm trying to get into at some point later this year. Lustrous Plates Surround is another one that's it's the same, but does Atmos up to 7.1.6. So yeah, I don't know what some of the others are. Tai Chi. HD cart. Cinematic rooms. I'll be checking some of that out later on. Morning, Marty. Welcome in. Am I looking to mixing Atmos in Studio A? Well, I'm actually looking at mixing Atmos in binaural on headphones. But I suppose at some point I might well get into mixing with speakers in Atmos, but that is very much a big jump. So, yeah, we shall see. But, yeah, these guys now are doing some really interesting stuff that is just that little bit nicer than what I had before. So there's a DVD for Extinction Level Event as well, so it seems like Oh, Reactor and Massive are now waiting for install, so that's very cool. Right, and Reaper's now open with no major problems. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open a recent project. Now, recent projects, oh, it's even opened the list of them. Amazing. And I'm going to go with Joel's Scar is Dead because that was one of the recent things we did on the channel. And I'm going to let that load everything up. And then it's going to moan at me about a load of missing plugins. And from that, I'll know what I'm missing. Or at least a good chunk of what I'm missing. Plugin Alliance. Didn't even get the Plugin Alliance stuff. Right. Plugin Alliance Installation Manager. That's what I need. A sponsorship from Eve for the speakers would be great. I mean, oh, hello. That's because I didn't install the stuff. Alright, so contact, we need sound toys. I'm just going to bring up a sticky note. Sticky notes needs an update. It's not going to throw all my personal details on the screen, is it? Yes, fine. But yeah, track spacer from Waves Factory, binaural, soothe. But yeah, still waiting for DistroKid to get it into the stores. Oh, what? Yeah, Sonar works. Very good shout, Danny. Thank you. So, why is it taking forever to update? All right, let's just open Notepad. Do it that way. Screw it. So we need Ambi Creator, Sound Toys, Plugin Alliance, Soothe, Track Spacer, God Particle, Flatline, and Double Tap. Apparently they're having issues with cover song licenses. Well, that's not your problem, is it? So looks like I needed the older version of Contact for support reasons as well. Right, so that should just about cover it. Right. So there's my list. There's my to-do list now. Installation, blah, blah, blah. Another site that makes you log in before you can download a tiny little thing. Annoying, but I can see why they do it, because otherwise bots will just scrape files over and over and over and over. Right. Alright, finish. Lots of that is just yes. Friends with Frankie. Would you use your interface's sound card or ACO? I'm not sure what you're asking there, Paul. ACO is just a layer between interfaces and the computer that Windows uses. Pretty much every interface worth its salt uses ACO. Oh, that might be the people for the house, so I might have to put you on mute for a minute. Hello?
Hi Adam, it's Katie.
Hello, I'm good. And we're back. Cool, that was easy enough. That was just a message saying, yeah, everything's going well. So at some point today, I'll need to... Yeah, Principality Building Society. Cool. Yes, need to send an email to my Thulafitov. We used Behringer's sound card rather than ACO. Well, again, the Behringer stuff should have had an option to use an ACO driver. You can always choose ACO with any device that's worth having. Unless it was like the absolute worst of the worst Behringer, which is possible, the UMC22. Anything that's got HD on, they all have options for choosing ACO as the driver. You don't have to choose ACO as a driver on Windows. It's a bit of a weird how'd you do, but you can and you should, because that's kind of the bottleneck in between the sound card itself and the processor, basically. To install your internet router into the barn for a stable connection. Woof. Right. Plugin Alliance. There it is. In my password list. So let's get this all installed. This one might have a bit of a fit when I open them up, because it might tell me that I'm at my activation limit. Because one thing that I did, right, my products, select all, don't need AAX, don't want VST2 either, install, boom. One thing that it was doing with Plugin Alliance, and I've had to do this a couple of times, is it will install, it now thinks this is a new machine. So I've got an activation limit of 3, which is this Mac, that computer, and the recording studio's main computer. And it thinks this is a new machine, so it's going to tell me my activations are maxed out, so I'm going to have to go and get that. But yeah, watch that fly because of the download speeds. So much better. Do I have any neural plugins? I don't. I need to get in touch with those guys because they do make good stuff. But no, I don't. I don't use any anyway. It's an interesting thought. But then a lot of the amps that they and stuff that they have, I've got the real ones, so I don't need virtual equivalents. I like to do things my own way in that kind of sense. The sounds I get are very much my own, and that's part of what makes, for an interesting proposition as a producer, is that I'm not just using the same plugins as everybody else when it matters, which is, when it comes to the original source tone. Valentine. Right, and carry on. Right, install. Bang. And because this computer is a monster, installing 100 odd plugins doesn't take very long. Edge Web View. Weird. Right, installation of them complete. That was fast. Churia done, that can go. Native Instruments is almost done with all of those plugins, which is impressive. Right, now, so that was PA off the list. Apparently the delivery driver tried to deliver us some speakers at the complete wrong end of the street. Great, thanks. Right, that's now done. Anyway. Ambi Creator is a very cool plugin that I'm using a little bit at the moment. Yeah. This plugin takes two OC818s and converts the sound from the 4 capsule connections that you can plug in into a 3D ambisonic sphere, which you can then use in Dolby Atmos as a full 3D source, which is headbending, and it works. It works really well. Now let's go to soundtoys.com. No, .com, not .co. Right, so let's get that on the next screen. Again, you've seen that email address. So Sound Toys, they've not made a version 6 yet. So 1.1 gigabytes, 25 seconds. That is kind of scary. Can I get the speakers back? Or they've gone. They'll have gone to the sorting office. They weren't arriving at my house anyway. They're arriving at the studio where I am not. So there's no way I can chase them today. I don't need them today. I can get them tomorrow. It's just irritating. Right, let's wait for that to comb through an entire. See, there are no upgrades available at this time. Where did the installer go for that? Why? That's really annoying when badly coded installers, there we go, take forever to open because they're just a massive package with the install data at the end. Yes, there we go. There we go. So I need Oak Sound Soothe. Downloads, Soothe, download. Okay. Oh, another thing that I need is I need the latest Blackmagic RAW so that I can run everything that I do in Premiere. Oh, that probably went into the wrong folder, the Steinberg. Yeah, Steinberg folder. Oh, but the VST3 is going in the right place, so that's fine. That's Soothe. Done. What was the other one that was in the background? Sound Toys. Don't need to run the iLock software. Waves Factory. Make Track Spacer. I need to download the demo. It's a bit of an annoying one because instead of being iLock based, it's username and password based, which means that I've got to then dive into an old email and try and find out which email it was that I was actually using. Accept, yes, fine, done. Cradle.app is where the God Particle's from, and I really liked it, so I'm going to be using it a fair amount. Yes, next. Come on, log me in today, please. The capabilities of the 818s, yeah, fantastic. I talked to Andy Sneap, all hail Andy Sneap, and he said that he loves the 818. He said, and I quote, "It's the best 414 I've ever had." Right, how do I download this then, if that's... Yeah, God Particle, because I got given that. There we go. I had to. That's not great. That in the website I have to go to some trial page to download the thing I've already got. I mean, yes, I didn't actually pay for it in this circumstance, but that's just not great UI design. But it's the kind of thing that you go through once and then you're done. So it's fine. Install. Yes, there we go. Yes, come on. Restart your DAW to start using your project. Yes, very good. Contact 6. Let's go back to native access. Don't need to run as administrator. Well, let's go in. Let's get to blackmagicdesign.com. Support. And get the most recent start camera. Okay, come on, you're here somewhere. Raw 2.6. There it is. Windows, and for some reason this particular design they really need me to be registered for some stupid reason. .com. I'm just putting in fake details. They already have my details and I'm not registering 17 times or whatever it is for the same thing because that's just silly. There we go. Yeah, if I'd known that I was getting these speakers, they've used a company called DPD Local, which is oh. Okay, so ignore those because I don't need you to. Really don't need Notepad and native access to be closed for Blackmagic Raw. Thank you very flipping much. That's done. That's done. The reason I opened this up was to get to normal contact. Say normal contact. I'm guessing they're putting 7 as a whole separate thing. And then the last 2 are from Submission Audio, which is Submission Audio. Oh, login. Downloads. Right, so I've got Flatline is there, but Double Tap isn't. Okay, that's annoying. It means I'm going to have to dive into my emails to get Double Tap. In fact, I'm just going to download the trial version of Double Tap because I've got a full license, so I can just do that. Now, opening Flatline, run. Accept. Finish. And Double Tap's nearly nearly downloaded. He says, come on. You know, today would be nice. It's only 100 megabytes. There we go. Right, so I don't need them. Don't need you, don't need you, do need you. Right, and there's one last thing that I did actually need, which is the IEM plugin suite. These are free, and these include a plugin which I was using, which is very clever. Because I was talking about, I was using the ambisonic kind of setup that you can get. The ambisonic setup that you can get from that plugin. Right, so I'm going to drop that in my program files, common files, VST3. Drop that in there. There we go. So yeah, I got an ambisonic signal out of the OC818s, and this converts it back into a binaural format, which mimics the Neumann KU100 head. So yeah, very, very cool. Now let's open Reaper again. Let it have an absolute panic with all these new plugins. But yeah, my iLock is plugged in, so the licenses should just carry on. And I think this is going to be the kind of the end of the stream, because then I'm just going to test Premiere out with a project or two and see if that crashes regularly, and if it doesn't, then we have success. But that's going to be the litmus test, and I don't really want to be doing that on stream in case I end up screaming at the damn thing. Right, come on. This is the slow bit with all the brainwork stuff. I can hear the CPU fan kicking up a little bit, because even though it's only using 6 cores there, it really is kind of hammering them. That can go. That can also go. Oh. So yeah, I do need to get some of the reverb extension packs for the Verb Suite Classics, but I'll do that off camera at some point. I mean, I expected this to take longer, honestly. I expected this to be quite a slow, chill stream, but it looks like we've kind of blasted through it in 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. So yeah, proof, if any was needed, that you really don't need days and days of reinstall time if your download speeds are decent, and if you've done this about 10 times like I have. But yeah, fast internet helps. But yeah, once this is open, this should prove, and you won't be able to hear it because the audio isn't connected from the ID44, but you should be able to hear it blasting over the headphones. Oh, OBS 28, that's another thing that we need that I can get installed. obsproject.com, Windows 28.0.2, which is actually a couple of versions newer than the one on the Mac, which is 28.0.0 beta 2. There we go. And let's install that while we wait for the other thing to be done, because I'm going to need to redo all the intros and outros and scene setup and all that kind of good stuff. So we may as well open up OBS and get that at least running. Next, FPS 30. YouTube. Right, I don't need the special way of doing it anyway. This is all fine. This output will be, yeah, Nvenc. Okay, but I'll sort all that out later. This shouldn't be far off done now. But yeah, this took what 2.5 hours to make a fresh install. I could have done this quicker, like someone was saying earlier, with imaging and with a backup, but that was very much not the point of this exercise today. This was very much fresh computer, fresh workspace, tidy mind. Look at all these icons. They weren't there before. Ugh. All these programs that are like, I want an icon on the screen. Well, you don't get one. Delete. If I want you, I'll come and get you. Don't need that mess on my screen, thanks. Right, now it's getting through the sound toy stuff, so it looks like we're nearly there. I think every one of these is it loading up for the first time and calling the iLock and going, do you have this? And it's going, yes, I have this. Over and over and over. And we're good. Right, so open projects, that one. There we go, things are popping up, as is tradition. Now, I'm not expecting this to be any more CPU efficient than it was previously because it's pretty much the same plugins on the same hardware. But I'll be interested to see what happens. There we go, yeah, activation required. So I'm online. So I'm going to have to go back to the Plugin Alliance website, off screen, go to my account and manage my devices to activate and deactivate. Deactivate that one. And put that email address in with password that I don't know off the top of my head. Password manager. Oh, that'll be why it's one of them awful ones. Save password, activate. Activating, connecting. Yes, come on. There we go. So I see it. I hear it. Lovely. There we go. So that's good. That's good. SonarWorks. Didn't install SonarWorks, but that's the one left. So I'll do that off camera because we've pretty much got to the point where I think we're pretty much there now. But yeah, that is absolutely... Oh, media CPU. What are you then? I wonder if that's to do with video processing and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's more M1 Mac. But yes, thank you everybody for joining me today. It's been enjoyable considering that I still feel like crap. There is a podcast coming out tonight, 8 p.m. I think it is, of Lee from PJD Guitars. Nice man, very interesting. And so that'll be going out with Produce Like a Pro as well. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be well enough to do a Mix Engineer React, which reminds me I need to install Ozone, because Ozone 10 and RX 10 are now out and I have them. And so yeah, there's them to go back on the list. And yes, then Saturday we start with the 42 Gear Street 4 videos. So there's lots happening at the moment. So thank you everybody, and I will see you when I'm better, hopefully, and in the next video. See you later, everyone.